What are my steps to graphing an ellipse? How am I going to find the center? H comma K. And where do I find H and where do I find K? The number, you mean? Yeah. Okay, because it sounds like you said variable. I know. Okay.
K is the number by the Y.
Okay, sounds good. Then what? Go around the room again. Riley, you're up. Awesome. Okay. What do we got? Step 2.
A squared. 5A.
NASCAR, we'll start over by you.
You have to find the width from the x value or y value. It doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, it really does.
Okay, then I'll just go with
We literally wrote them down yesterday. What do you got now?
Square root, up or down.
Okay.
take the square root of the number underneath that to find the
Underneath what?
x.
X. So I'm looking at the number under the X part. Then what do I do with it?
Take the square root.
Square root it. And then what is that going to tell me?
How far out you have to go.
Which way?
Horizontally.
I'm not, so left and right? Okay. From where?
The center.
Not quote unquote. Okay. Wow, step 3. It's in your notes from yesterday. Literally. So now we're going to look, so same thing, but just under Y, right? Okay, what else changes? So the number under the Y, I take the square root of it. So if X, remember, goes left and right, Y goes up and down. Okay? Luke, can we take a pause here and find some other stuff? We could, okay. What else? Other than our vertices, what else could we identify on our ellipse? Not yet. That comes later. There's 2 other parts to an ellipse that we can identify. Now that we know how far out we go left and right and up and down.
I apologize to those of you listening on the internets. Apparently this class doesn't know how to get out their notes.
I know you know math.
I don't know. I don't
to you. So we can identify which ones are major axes and which one is our minor axes. Okay? Which one is which? Which one's major, which one's minor? Okay? And why is it important for us to determine which one's the major and which one's the minor? And the foci. Yep, exactly. So the major one is important to identify which one it is because it has the vertices and the foci on it. Okay? All right? So, Noah, we're up to you. What are the vertices? Didn't write it down? Can't look back in your notes? Didn't write anything down yesterday? Okay. Glad you were here. We're up to you. They are the endpoints of the major axes. Nope. Okay. So because I can't say which is which because it all depends on if the green number is bigger or the red number is bigger. Okay. So we just kind of have to wait. That's why we have to wait until we're through step 3 to identify which one's which. Okay. And then where they are. Okay. All right. So then we go on to step 4. Freddie, what's step 4? Nope, that's step 5. Draw it. Okay. Get your notes out now? Ready to go now? Step 5 is what? Find 2 foci, right? Okay. And how am I going to go about finding the 2 foci? So c squared does not equal a squared plus b squared, because that's the Pythagorean theorem. No? A squared minus b squared. Yep. Otherwise, it's the Pythagorean theorem. Okay? Alright? So c squared is a squared minus b squared. We take the absolute value of that. But more importantly, from that, what is C? Sam, we're up to you. Okay, but what, in words, what abstractly, what's C? No, not a circle. What's C? And yeah, so it's the distance from the center to the foci. And if we jump back a little bit, Kenzie told us it's where? On the major axes. Okay. So, when we are graphing these, okay, you'll have a graph. Tonight you'll get a homework that'll have a graph. I expect you to graph the ellipse on it. then underneath it, it says identify what the center is, identify what the vertices are, and identify what the foci are. Okay? So for all the examples today, I want those 5 points along with the graph. Okay? All right, so here we go. So our first one is quantity x minus 1 squared divided by 4 plus quantity y plus 3 squared divided by 25 equals 1. First thing we got to check is we got to make sure it equals 1. Do we have that? Yes. If we don't have that, we have to divide by whatever it's equal to over there, and then that sets up our fractions. Okay? Hope that we got that done. So, step number 1 says I need to find the center. Go ahead, what? Do we agree with 1 comma negative 3? H and K is my center, right? Okay, so H and K is my center. Oops, let me go down here, and then let's go like this. And yeah, oh, that one condition. Oops, that went away. Okay, all right, fantastic. H and K. So I'm going to go with, I kind of like what Max said, the center here is 1 comma negative 3. Agree? Yeah. Then, what number do I look at? What is the number under x? 4. Okay, what do I do with 4? I take the square root of 4. What is the square root of 4? 2. So I'm going to go where from the center? 2 right and 2 left. I'm going to put a dot. 2 right. Oops, that's 3 left. 2 left. Okay. Now what do I do? What's the number under what? 25. What do I do with that? What is the square root of 25? What do I do with 5? From where? From my blue center point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. Okay? Which one's major? Which one's minor? The vertical one is major. Okay, yep, the vertical one is major. So that means the y, which means when I get to foci, I'm going to add and subtract to the y. Okay? Is that what you were saying, Ken? Perfect. Okay? Can I draw it in now? Actually, before we even draw it in, we should identify our vertices, right? What are my 2 vertices? Are they the red dots or are they the green dots? They're my red dots, right? So what are those coordinates? 1 comma 2 is the top one. And 1 comma negative 8 is the bottom one. Okay? Another way of getting those, because my vertical axis is major, I take that 5 and I add and subtract it to the negative 3. Negative 3 plus 5 is 2. Negative 3 minus 5 is negative 8. Okay? Now what should I do? Okay, as best you can. Try and be curved, don't be straight. Okay? And lastly, what do I have to find? Find my foci. Okay? So, c squared is going to be what? Absolute value of 4 minus 25, which is, what is 4 minus 25? Negative 21, absolute valued 21. So c squared here is 21, which means c is what? Square root of 21. Can I simplify the square root of 21 at all? No? Okay. So then where are my foci? See if I can get it in there. There's the center. Do we agree with 1 plus or minus the square root of 21, comma, negative 3? 'She said 1 plus or minus the square root of 21, comma, negative 3.
I like 1, comma 3 plus or minus the square root of
3 or negative 3?
negative 3.
Negative 3. I like that one better, Matt, just so you know. Okay, because Sam told us that the major axis was vertical, right? So that means we add and subtract to the y. So our foci then is going to be at 1, comma, negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 21. If our major axis was horizontal, then we'd add it to the x. Okay? But because it's vertical, we're adding and subtracting it to the y. Okay? Another way of checking that out is, okay, square root of 21 is roughly what, 4.5-ish, right? So if I add 4.5 to this, so I'm like kind of right in there, which is outside of my ellipse. And I need to be inside the ellipse. Okay? So really the foci they're tucked in up here and down there. We'll always go off the center. Yep, which is why we find it first. Okay? All right, try that one. Center. Left and right from the center. 5. Up and down from the center. Which one's major? Horizontal, right? Horizontal one is. Okay. So where are my vertices? Negative 4, comma, negative 2. And 6, comma, negative 2. Like that, you mean? Okay. Draw it in. C squared is the absolute value of 25 minus 4. 25 minus 4 is 21. Absolute value of 21 is 21. So C then is the square root of 21. So my foci are at where? One, 2, 3, 4.5. So right there, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and right there. Up to you. Questions? Go for it. Center. Negative 2 comma 0. Left and right. 6. Up and down. Major axes. It's vertical. So that means my vertices are negative 2 comma 9 and negative 2 comma negative 9. Okay? Oops, cut that one short. Oh, no, I know. Should use the small one. Okay. C squared. Absolute value of 36 minus 81, 45. So what's C? Three square roots of 5. Okay. And am I going to add that to X or Y? Y? Okay, so it's going to be 0 plus or minus 3 square roots of 5. So really it's just negative 2 comma plus or minus 3 square roots of 5. If you put the 0 in there, I'd be okay with it, but don't really have to. Yes, Okay. Try that one. All right, this one, centa. Do we agree negative 2 comma negative 1? Okay. Left and right. I get left and right 4.5. Yes? So 1, 2, 3, 4.5. 2, 3, 4.5. Up and down. 2. So, vertices. Which one's the major axis? Horizontal is the major axis, right? So I've got to add and subtract 2 square roots of 5 to the x or to the y of my center. What? To x. So my vertices are going to be at -2 plus or minus 2 square roots of 5, comma, -1. Those are those green dots. Okay. We could have, but would have we been right? We would have been close, right? But it's no different than like the foci before. You know what I mean? It's the same concept going on with that we had in the foci. Okay? Then we can draw it in. Alright. So then c squared is going to be what? So c is 4. So where are my foci? Two comma -1. And what did you say? Because I have to add and subtract 4 to my x. Okay, so -2 plus 4 is +2. That's where we get the 2 comma -1. -2 minus 4 is -6. That's where we get the -6 comma -1. Okay. Worksheet tonight. It will be due on Monday. What was that? No, I have it already on there for you. Okay? And then there's a formative on Friday.